Greetings and welcome to the School of the Prophets. I hope you're doing well. This is Bungadi Blacksmith. If we are just meeting, and I also want to encourage you, if we are just meeting, consider subscribing so that you can become part of our prophetic YouTube prophetic community, and you can get these messages every time when I'm gonna be putting them on. God bless you. We are still on the subject of how to know if you are a prophet. Yesterday on episode number 5, I spoke about one of the ways that you can know that God is calling you into the prophetic is through a burning desire, through an undying desire for the prophetic. I want to wrap that up and give you another way that you can know if you are a prophet. What is important for me to say is that merely because you have a desire, it doesn't also confirm that you are a prophet. And also, I want you to be aware of these two distinctions. There's a prophet, there's a prophetic minister. They are not the same. A prophet, it's a calling. A prophet is someone who's called to stand in the office of a prophet. But there are people who are not called to stand in the office of a prophet, but they are given the gifts of the prophet. So someone can have the gifts of the prophet without being a prophet. Such ministers, we call them prophetic ministers. We don't call them prophets. So it's very important that you are careful, that you don't begin to announce yourself as a prophet before you have gotten, even if you have a desire, before you have gotten confirmation. This is one of the things, because the thing about God is that oftentimes God will speak to you first, but then afterwards God is going to be using many other witnesses to create conviction regarding the call that He has placed upon your life. So let's say God is calling you, you're a prophet, but God is calling you through a desire. Maybe you're not a seer prophet, maybe you're an Nabi prophet, maybe you're whatever prophet you are, but God, let's just say God is not calling you dramatically, but God is calling you through a desire. You've been desiring the prophetic. Every time you see people moving in the prophetic, you are thinking, that is me. Every time things happen around you and you didn't have any knowledge of them, you feel it causes you pain and you feel like, I was supposed to know this thing was supposed to happen. Those are very good signs that God might be calling you into the prophetic. But like I said, desire alone does not make anyone a prophet. Because if desire alone makes anyone a prophet, then we have many prophets in the world, which is not the case. So if you have been battling with a desire, that attraction and that undying desire towards the prophetic, what you must look for now is confirmation. And confirmation comes in many ways. But first of all, you seek confirmation from the Lord. And when you seek confirmation from God Himself, the God you believe is calling you is the one you must seek for confirmation. And as you are calling upon God and you are seeking, you are looking for confirmation, God can begin to confirm it through dreams. God can begin to confirm it through the ministry of the prophet. God can begin to confirm it through the ministry of prophecy. So in fact, oftentimes after God has called you through a desire, God will begin to use the ministry of prophecy. God will begin to use the ministry of the prophet and even dreams. God will begin to summon you by dreams. God will begin to summon you by visions. Even the voice of the Lord will begin to come to you. One of the most important things, if you sense, if you feel, if you have a desire and you think the Lord might be calling you, one of the most important things to do is to confirm before you start running. Before you start going out and telling people you are called, before you go out and trying to do things that you don't know what you are doing, you're not sure of, you have to seek the Lord for confirmation. But I wanted to say to you, never undermine that God can use a desire to call you into the prophetic. But after you have had that desire, you don't then come to a conclusion that I'm a prophet. It must be confirmed. And God's going to use many prophetic expressions, more especially the ministry of a prophet. God's going to use other prophets to come and speak over your life, to confirm, to prophesy. But what's beautiful about it is that when that thing has been laid in your heart by God, and you know it's there. You know, when a prophet comes along and begins to speak things into your life, and those things are the things that God has been impressing upon your own heart. Those are the things that God has been, haunting your life about. When the prophet comes, it becomes prophetic confirmation. So you have to seek that prophetic confirmation even after now you have that desire and you believe that God is calling you into the prophetic. That's very important. So desire alone is one way that God can call you into the prophetic. Number two, dreams and visions. God said to Aaron and Miriam, if there be a prophet among you, it says, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision, and I will speak to him in a dream. The second way to know that you are a prophet is that God must make himself known to you. This is the second way you can know. Oftentimes when there's some prophets, God, he doesn't call them through desire. He appears to them. That's why he says to Aaron and Miriam, if there is a prophet among you, I will make myself known to you in a vision, but I will speak to you in a dream. So there are those, and this one is the ones that we know. This one is the one that we desire the most. This is why we have so many prophets that God has called them through desire, and they've rejected the call because they want the call, to come through a vision, to come maybe through a prophetic dream, But it is a second way. It's so accepted. So many people know about it. But again, it's also interesting how many people ignore it. How many people, they've never heard the Lord visiting them. They've never heard the Lord, even if they were called through desire. They've never heard other prophets coming to confirm the call, but they're already calling themselves prophets. So you have to be careful, because your goal is that you want to be the prophetic, genuine prophetic. You want to serve God. You want to speak for the Lord. You don't just want to carry the title of a prophet, but only to find that you are not the prophet of God, only to find that you are not serving God. So this is why this is one of the most important classes, episode in the this school of the prophet season 1, that it's important to confirm if God has spoken, even after you have heard a voice. Even if after God has spoken to you, let's say, if God speaks to you in a dream, it's very important to get confirmation. But this second one is very important also, is how God inducts the prophets into the office. God uses desire sometimes to induct a prophet into the office, but God also uses dreams and visions to induct the prophet into the dream, the prophet into the office or into the prophetic. So if you're someone whose life is troubled by dreams, if you're someone whose life is troubled by visions, you have to consider the Lord might be calling you. But just as desire alone is not enough to qualify someone to be a prophet, just dreaming and also just seeing things doesn't also qualify you as a prophet. Remember, God said to Miriam and Aaron, he didn't say, I will show them things. He said, I will make myself known to them. I will make myself known to them. So in other words, if God is calling you as a prophet, it's not just about you seeing things, but first and foremost is the Lord making himself known to you. This is one of the very most important things. Even the prophet who was called through desire, God was going to confirm you through the other prophets. But the other prophets, they are confirming you. They're going to pray for you. They're going to impart to you. They're going to actually even propel you. They're going to put you to a place wherein you yourself, God begins to speak to you. Because if God to the seers, he appears to them through a vision, then God to a Nabi prophet, God will appear to him through the audible. God might appear to a Nabi also through a vision, but in most cases, a Nabi will hear the voice of God. The voice of God will come and speak to them. So you need to understand these two ways. This is how you can know you're a prophet. One, God can call you through a vision. A desire. Two, God can call you through dreams and visions. This is a dramatic way of being called, right? And a lot of people, that's why I started talking about desire. I didn't start with this one because a lot of people know this one, and a lot of people are expecting this one. And so even those who are called through desire, they end up rejecting the call because it didn't come the way they're expecting. So, but that being said, the second one is also important. He calls us into the prophetic through dreams and visions. But whether God has spoken to you through desire, or God has spoken to you through a vision, a dream, or a voice, it's very important to get confirmation before you start running out saying you're a prophet and trying to do things that you don't understand. So the key thing is that you have to confirm. I was in the school of the prophets just shortly before I'm shooting this video, the school of seers and the prophets, and I was teaching them that one of the first things that you need after you believe God has called you, you need to know the Lord. You need to encounter the God that you believe is calling you, and the God that you're going to be going out to speak for. You need that God to speak to you. Before you speak to him, let him speak to you. Before you reveal him to people, let him make himself known to you. That's the key. That is true ministry. That's how true ministry is done. Ministry is taking from the Lord and giving to the people. So ministry is not just fabricating, building things up, and then taking them to the people. That's no longer ministry. It's gonna be devoid. It's gonna be void of power. It's not gonna be able to change people's lives. So true ministry entails you encountering God and allowing God to speak through your life. I hope you understand that. So may the Lord bless you. This was episode 6, season 1 of the School of the Prophets. So I hope you're looking forward to episode number 7, because it's season 1 of the School of the Prophets, because we are still on season 1. I don't know when we're going to finish. It looks like it's going to be a very long series, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it too. I saw people subscribing again, joining our Kingdom Prophetic community. God bless everybody who's just subscribed. If we are meeting again, I want you to consider subscribing. If you've enjoyed this content, I want you to consider subscribing, because more content is coming that is like this, and you don't want to miss this. So may the Lord bless you. Thank you so much. I'm going to be seeing you on episode number 7. God bless you. Shalom.